All right, guys, welcome to our weekly Monday Night Huddle. I'm Amber Ike, and I'm so glad that you guys were able to jump on and join us. We are going to be going over our convention recap. So for those of us that were able to be in convention last week, we're just going to be sharing our top takeaways that you can utilize and add to your business as well. But before we get started with our convention recap, just a couple of quick announcements that I wanted to highlight. Leaders Retreat, we're going to talk about it at the end a little bit, but Leaders Retreat was announced at convention. And so it is going to be at the Gaylord Texan, which just so happens to be in Dallas, Texas. That is October 27th through 29th. So mark your calendars. You want to be there. This is a special event that you have to qualify for. So it is 750 credits to qualify. And I know that that can sound intimidating for a lot of us, but you guys, it is so doable. There are people that have not even joined our company yet that will be at Leaders Retreat. Mark my words. So it is doable. Make up your mind that you're going to be in Texas in October at Leaders Retreat, and you will be there. We can make a game plan and help you strategize on how you're going to get there, but you want to be there. Convention is amazing, you guys. It's full of just trainings and things that you can implement in your business, but Leaders Retreat is really, really special. Because it's a smaller group, and these are the people that go to Leaders Retreat are the people that will be a diamond. I don't think people get to Leaders Retreat by accident. You get there because you want to be there. And it's such a great event because, first of all, Plexus spoils you like crazy, but you're around other leaders, and you get to really, talk to other people that are doing this as a business and that have great plans for their future with Plexus. So it's a great time to meet others in the industry and just really share your whatever you need to share with each other and get to know others that are not on our team. So mark your calendars. You want to be there. Let's see. I wanted to give a quick shout out. I don't think she's on here yet. She was dropping off a triplex to somebody. She said, "Oh, there she is. Oh, Laura, you guys, this girl, how long have you been an ambassador? Like 2 weeks?"
Like 15 days.
Just 15 days. Guys, she made the weekly leaders board. Didn't even know she did. She was like, "How do you even do that?" Like, I didn't even see that. Made the weekly leaders board in the top enroller. She was number 5 in the entire company. You guys, we have over 400,000 people in our company. And this girl made the top leaders board just by sharing our amazing products with her friends and family 15 days into her journey. So you guys, that is amazing. Wanted to give you a quick shout out, Alora, because that is just pretty incredible. So, and then next up, I wanted to give Amanda the floor really quick. She just shared something super exciting that they are in the works of doing. So Amanda, what's up, girl?
Hi. Okay, so Michelle and I are going to be hosting a 60-day Edge trial group. So this is open. I posted it on JTD too, so we're going to expand it. So anyone who is trying Edge for the first time is welcome to join. We're going to be doing it for customers, like reach out to new potentials or people you reached out to a year ago that said no. This is something you can reach out to them again. And what we're going to do is 60 days, probably 1 or 2 posts a day. We're not going to make it too intimidating for them. And we just want them to try Edge, get them in trying the products, and as well as getting involved with the Facebook group. So if they do like it and they do want to become an ambassador, they get like a preview of what that's like. But this is also a great way to start Leaders Retreat contests. Edge is $30 as a preferred customer, but if you talk your customers into trying Edge and X Factor for 60 days or even for the first month, that's 50 PV, so that's 10 points for you towards Leaders Retreat. So it's something to keep in mind. Reach out to as many people as possible. We want this group to be huge. We want a lot of interaction, and there's going to be giveaways at the end of the 60 days. We're going to do a giveaway of a free bottle of Edge and a couple other swag things. So it's a great way to keep them involved the whole time. So advertise it in the post I made on the JTD and Odyssey to Gems is Tristan's page. I posted it all on there. There's a preview of like what you can send to someone that says like, this is our group. We want you to be in it. So please share it. Add as many people as you want. We're going to open it up to ambassadors probably middle of the week, and then you can then add your people. So let them know, get their products ordered. It starts on the 27th, so next Monday, but with increased shipping times, it shouldn't be that long of a wait. So that's it, but we hope you have a lot of people on there.
Thanks, Amanda. And that's the thing about Edge, you guys, and that might be something that a couple of you might touch on tonight in your takeaways, but Edge is a quick acting product. Like, this is not a product that you're like, okay, let me give it 3 weeks and see if I like it. Edge is a product that people are taking, and that same day they are noticing increased energy and better moods and all these amazing things. So this is the product. Who was it at convention? It was kind of funny, but they said this is like, it's not funny, but it's like the gateway drug. Like, get this in their hands, and then they're going to want the rest of our products. Like, not to be like talking like it's a drug, but this is the product that you can easily get into somebody's hands, and they will fall in love with Plexus. And you guys, who doesn't want more energy and better moods? Like, those are two things everyone could use a better mood and more energy, no matter how much energy you already have. So this is a product that is going to change your business. This is the one that you can really lead with. So, and then from there, obviously, once they fall in love with that, then you can add the triplex and all those other amazing products. Okay. So we're just going to cover our top convention takeaways tonight, you guys. And this was my third convention. And this one was really just, I had like this aha moment. And I think my first convention, I was just so excited to be there, and just looking around me at all these like Plexus rock stars and so excited just to be there. And then last year's, I was so eager to just be a jewel. I'm like, okay, I've been Senior Ruby for 17 years. It's time to just be Emerald already. Like, why am I still Senior Ruby? This year, going to convention as a jewel was a game changer for me, because sitting down there in the jewel seating just made me realize how life-changing this opportunity has been, not just for my family, but for all the people that are there. Realizing that people, that could be, that was so many people's first convention, and they, got this excitement and this hope of what this is going to do for their families. It was so exciting to kind of like do this full circle moment. And I remembered, in 2014 when I went to Dallas's convention, being that excited new ambassador and just ready to rock and roll and like make the most of this opportunity. And then now looking back and just seeing everyone that was there, it was life-changing for me, because I realized we've only just begun. We are just getting started, and this is just going to go like crazy, you guys. The best is yet to come with this opportunity. So it was just very humbling being able to sit down there and realize that we are on the verge of really exploding, you guys. We have not even begun. Charles said we have about 432,000 ambassadors. And that might sound like a lot, especially if you feel like, oh, I got to build my business. I need to get to my, friends and neighbors before so-and-so does, or whatever. That might sound like a lot, but in the grand scheme of the world, and even just the United States, if we're just talking the United States, which we're expanding globally anyways, that is a drop in the bucket, you guys. That is nothing in the grand scheme of this. Hang on a second. I'm hearing some feedback. So it was really neat to be there. And when you get 12,000 Plexus ambassadors together, you're bound to have a good time. When you get Plexus people together in general, it's just full of hope and inspiration and excitement. So that in and of itself is really, really fun. But I just really soaked it all in. And it was really just a neat perspective this year. So, you guys, my first convention, we had 4 people, including myself, go from Journey Toward Diamond. And this year we had, I'm pretty sure we had over 40 people from our team there. And that in and of itself is just so neat, you guys. You are one person, but the choices that you're making and the people you're bringing on and the people they're bringing on, you have the opportunity to have a ripple effect. You aren't just affecting your level ones. You are, in essence, affecting all these people's lives and even customers' lives that you may someday, you might not ever meet these people, but you are paying it forward and being a blessing. So it is not only, a good thing to dream big. Dream on was the theme this year, but it is essential for you to dream big, because by you not dreaming big, you are, in essence, not going to impact all these people's lives that you could someday impact. Let's see. I'm a quote girl. You guys know that. I love me some quotes. And so I wrote down some of my favorite quotes to share tonight because I just really thought that they were really good to camp out on for a second. But we had a Jules training session one of the last morning. I guess it was Wednesday morning there. And Alec spoke to us. And I shared this with some girls earlier. But hearing the president of the company pour his heart out when he doesn't have to, you guys, he could get up there and just be the president of the company, in that position that we hold him in. But he got up in front of 400 something Jules and shared stories that he didn't have to share, vulnerable stories about his past, like mistakes he's made in his career, that he's not proud of, but made him who he is today. And, we were all, I don't think there was a dry eye in the house, and I was sitting next to Zach Kinkle. So that tells you a lot. So just seeing the president of your company get up there and be real and lay it out the way it needs to be laid out is so exciting, because with that kind of integrity and vulnerability as leaders, you guys, there is nothing that is going to stop this company with that kind of leadership. And that's the kind of leadership that I can get behind personally, because I see how just forthright and honest that they are with us. So that's super exciting. But one of the quotes that he said, he was talking about work-life balance for us. And he said, work should enhance your life, not take away from it. You guys, with this opportunity, we have that privilege for this work that we do to enhance our lives and not take away from it. So I want to make sure that you guys keep that in perspective. I know that there are days where you feel like you are working your business, nothing's happening, you might be frustrated and annoyed or whatever, but put it into perspective. This needs to enhance your life. And this, I know for me personally, this has enhanced my life so much more than the money, anything like that, but the friendships, the areas that I get the opportunity to grow personally. Make sure that this is enhancing your life and not taking away from it, because this opportunity is not meant to steal from you. It's meant to bless your life and continue to bless others' lives. And one thing he said over and over and over again is, if you're blessed, be a blessing. And I think all of us can say, with these products that have changed all of our lives, the least we can do is pay that forward to our friends that are looking for something that can help them in their lives. So pay it forward, you guys. Julie Clark, she's the founder of Baby Einstein. And so she shared with us at the Jules session as well. And one of the quotes she said that I just think is so good and true for us is, when you have something you believe in, you are willing to take risks. So you guys, this opportunity, I don't think it's the hardest thing in the world. Like, it's definitely not. But it does take some getting out of your comfort zone. It does make you uncomfortable at times, especially when you need to talk to somebody about plexus because this could help them change their lives. It gets a little uncomfortable and awkward. But when you believe in this so strongly, you are willing to take those risks. So, if you aren't taking any risks with your plexus business, I want you to go back to your belief. Do you truly believe in what we have to offer? Do you truly believe that you have something of value to offer that person? Go back, check yourself, figure out where your belief lies, And then you're going to be able to step out of your comfort zone and make those risks. And that's where the beauty happens, you guys. And this kind of goes along with that. Sapphire Dusty Duncan shared on stage that everything she's done it afraid. So I know some of you guys are stuck in fear. You know, you want to do this, you have it in your gut, you feel that this is the thing you need to do, but you just can't get going. Something is holding you back, and more than likely it's some kind of fear. You guys, I don't want you to look at the jewels and think, oh, well, she must just never have been afraid. You know, this just must be the most easy thing for her. Heather Burke is one of our diamond uplines. She is one of the most introverted, quiet, doesn't want to talk to people on a regular basis type of people. I sat next to her at the gala, and she's a diamond. She's been a diamond with our company for a couple years. You would think that she'd be at the point where she just wants to go and hang out and all this stuff, socialize, blah, blah, blah. No, you guys, that's not how all of us are. That's not how all of us are wired. But, you know, everything she's done afraid too. And it's obviously paid off. So I don't want you guys to look at, you know, the top people in our company and just think, well, it must be so easy for them. I wish I could do that. You guys, do it afraid. So many people are doing this, but they're doing it afraid. Let's see. Okay, I'm trying to figure out the best ones because I want everyone to be able to share. One of my favorite quotes at the end was by John Addison, and he said, "I'll see you at the top because the bottom sure is crowded." I stinking love that quote, you guys. It doesn't take any work to be average. It doesn't take any work to be normal. It doesn't take any work to follow the status quo. Like, that's what average people do. They just get up, go to work, don't have any dreams. You know, this is just life. But we were put on this earth to do more than just get by, wake up, do the same thing over and over again, and never make an impact. So you guys, I want you to decide that you are going to be going to the top because the bottom is crowded. Maybe it's just me. I don't like crowded places. So maybe that's why I'm okay like making it to the top, because I don't want to be in a crowd full of people that just don't want to dream big in life. That to me does not sound like a good time at all. So you guys dream big, go to the top because the bottom sure is crowded. And then one other thing that Alex said was build a life, not just a business. You guys, we are not doing Plexus just because we want to build this amazing business. Yes, that's a part of it, but you are building a life. And the people that you are bringing into this organization with you are people that you get to do life with. You know, that's the thing with you guys. Like, you guys are, yes, we work together, we're coworkers, whatever you want to call it. But I actually enjoy doing life with you guys. Like, I would show up for this even if we weren't talking about Plexus, because that's how much I value our team. That's how much I love the people that are on our team. So make sure that you are not just in business mode. You're not just building this business, but you're actually building the life that you want. This is an opportunity for you to create the life that you want. Design your life. I know that sounds too good to be true sometimes, but honestly, you guys, you have the reins in your hand. You get to decide how much you're going to work, when you're going to work, where you're going to work from, who you're going to work with. These are all within your decision. You know, this is your choice. So make sure that you are building a life and not just a business. So those were my top takeaways. I would love to hear from those of you that were planning on sharing. I figured everyone could just get like a 2 to 3 minutes or so, and then we should have time. So make sure you unmute yourself.
I'll start.
Yay.
Since everybody's so eager to talk, obviously.
All right.
Well, since Amber took 24 minutes of time and said all the good things, let's see what I have left here. Something I think that is just true for our company, and we have been told over and over again, and Alex preaches, and I mean, everybody preaches. It's kind of Alex saying that if you've been blessed, be a blessing. And that was said multiple times by diamonds and emeralds and sapphires and rubies and silvers and ambassadors and everybody in between. And one of the cool things, sorry if you can hear my son, I do avoid him, but he's unavoidable. The bathroom was occupied, so therefore I can't lock myself in there. Anyway, But one of the things that was said, not at convention, but a story was told, was that there was apparently an opportunity event somewhere that was a couple weeks ago that Alec was speaking at, and there was it was a lady that was a gold and her husband, and they went and they said hi to Alec at this opportunity meeting, and Alec asked them if they were coming to convention. And she said, no, we're not going to be able to. We just can't afford it right now. It's not in the works. And he took out, I don't know how much money, hundreds of dollars in cash that he had in his wallet, and handed to her and her husband and said, well, now you don't have an excuse. Now you can come. And she was there. And it's just that kind of thing. That's the company that we are privileged to be with. That's the blessing that we're privileged to be a part of. Another example is, there was a lady and her husband that were actually at the airport getting on their plane. They went to check in and they found out that their plane tickets were phonies. Like they had bought them somewhere and they were fakes. And in order to catch their flight, it was going to be thousands of dollars and they couldn't afford it. And this lady, I think she was either a silver or a gold. I don't remember. Anyway, she messaged her upline and just said, we can't come. And her upline messaged her Jewel. And within 30 minutes, between the Jewel and other people on our team, they had enough money not only to get them to convention, but their Jewel used her frequent flyer miles and bought their tickets for free. Like, if this doesn't say to you that you're with the right company, then you don't have a heart or you cry inside. Haha, Christy. But that is huge, y'all. Like, this is what we're doing. This is who we get to be with. These are the people we get to be with. It's amazing. No. So, no, not to you guys. No to Josiah. So the other thing that I really loved that Tarl talked on was that he talked about the plexus philosophy. And that is that, it's not just about the company, which is the ambassadors. It's not just about us. It's also, or it's not just about the company, like on the retail side or the people that work for them. It's also about the ambassadors. And if it's not good for the company and it's not good for the ambassadors both, then it won't be done. So if the people that are working in the warehouse or that are answering the phones, if it's not good for them and it also doesn't work for us on the front line, on the ambassadors, then it's not good enough. It doesn't matter. It's just not getting done. And I mean, Tarl spoke on that. Alex spoke on that. Rita Davenport spoke on that. Victor Antonio spoke on that. Like, this was visualized and spoken by multiple people. So convention was amazing. I mean, there's so much we could say, but the biggest thing is that if you have doubt still, whether it be products or business or compensation plan or anything, then that doubt is because you have not taken the time to get on these calls, and you've not taken the time to read testimonies, and you've not allowed yourself to dream. I feel like people go, oh, I'm scared of that, and so therefore I can't do this. But the truth of the matter is, in order for you to even start dreaming, it means you're putting yourself out there. If you've even allowed yourself to start dreaming, then you've allowed yourself to be vulnerable to disappointment, because to dream means that you have to realize the fact that maybe it won't come true, right? So if you haven't done that yet, if you have not taken that step, then you need to reach out to your upline or somebody, your sideline, your power partner, somebody, as soon as this call's over, and have a real heart-to-heart with them, because you are missing out on an opportunity and a blessing that God has put forth.
Thank you, Tristan. Love that. All right. Who else wants to share?
I'll share.
Yes.
So one of the things that I've highlighted from Rita Davenport is business is unbelievable. When anybody asks you how business is going, you say business is unbelievable. It might be unbelievably good. It might be unbelievably bad. You don't have to tell them that part. Just business is unbelievable. And the more excitement that you have, the more likely they'll think it's good. We all have our ups and our downs, but either way, Plexus is unbelievable. Then a couple of things from our gold training that I've highlighted from Rhonda Shaw and Jen Hawkins did this category. I don't know who exactly said these statements. But the key is not to prioritize what's on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities, which is a big problem of mine because I like to check things off. So Tristan's making me laugh. So, it's not always the most important thing that gets done first. It might be the easiest. And so I need to work through that. The other one is, if you do not rule your time will rule you, which is another very true statement and very applicable to where I am in life.
Yes. Beth, I think we all can relate to that with the scheduling your priorities, I know for me, I'm a list person too, and I just like checking things off. And so I think for me, a lot of times and I use the dishwasher example all the time, I can physically know like when that's done or not done. Like it's easy to gauge if I was a success at that or not. But with like the 5-3-1 and reaching out to people and those things, you might not see immediate, like Christy was saying in the comments, everyone wants instant gratification. We want to check that off our list. We want to feel like we've accomplished something. So we go for those easier tasks. We go for the things where like, hey, let me just check a couple things off so I feel like I was productive in some way. But you guys, when we realize this opportunity that we have, like, holy smokes, like reaching out to 5 people on a daily basis, if that's what it's going to take on a daily consistent basis, why wouldn't we do that? You know what I mean? We're not getting paid $5 an hour, you guys. We're not getting paid $20 an hour. Like I was doing the math the other day. I'm like, holy smokes, do you realize what some of these jewels are getting paid per hour? Like that's incredible. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. So when you see the value in it, then it's things. So awesome. Okay, who else is going to share?
I'll go.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was in the same training, and I think most of my takeaways that I have came from that senior gold group, just because I think they were really practical. So when they kept saying, like, try to come away with at least one thing you can implement the minute you go back to work. So I came up with a few, which I just thought that they were things we could do right now. So my favorite one that they said was, look, we're all diamonds, but we were all sitting in your shoes. Some of us were there a year ago. Some of us were there 2 years ago. If you want to be here, if you want to be a diamond, you have to work at diamond pace.
Yes.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You can't fake that. So they said at the minimum, you have to be doing 5-3-1 a day, reaching out to 5 new, following up with 3 people you've already talked to, and touching base with at least one of your ambassadors or clients. It's not optional. The diamonds do that. They still do it. And then they said a few things off of that. The first thing is keep messaging people until they tell you to stop. And they would say in their quotes, Rhonda said this, I'm going to keep bugging you until you tell me yes or no. So if you want to tell me no today, that's fine. I'll stop bugging you. But if you don't tell me anything, I'm going to keep messaging you. And they said to keep including those people in your 5. Like until you get a response, it's not a follow-up. So keep those people in your new category and keep hitting them until they get back to you. The other thing that really resonated with me is they said the speed of the leader is the speed of the team. Mm-hmm. You have to stop waiting on your team to make it happen. If you want it, you make it happen and everyone will follow you. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm super guilty of that. Like saying, I'm so frustrated, my team's not doing anything, but then what am I doing? So you really have to take that on yourself. And the last one was just 2 tips they gave for cold messaging, which I think is something we're always trying to sort of crack the code on. So I thought these were both really useful. Rhonda said she uses voice messenger all the time instead of actual text messenger because she feels like people are like, oh, what's this? And what do they want to say? So she said she starts out and says like, hi, Amber, I know you're a really busy mom. You're stressed for time. You're probably sleep deprived. I was the same way, just some way to make it personal. If you haven't heard about Plexus, I want to be the first person to tell you more about it. So spill. Has anyone told you about Plexus yet? And use that as a way to engage. And then the other one, which was totally different, which Eric Worre says to use all the time, and I haven't, but it's a good one, is just to message someone and say, hey, Amber, I know you're super healthy and you probably wouldn't be interested, but if you know anyone who might need more energy, might want to lose some weight, might be looking for a financial opportunity, I would really appreciate the referral. And a lot of times people will say, well, wait, why are you counting me out? Like, I could be that person for you. So kind of that reverse psychology. So those were just some points I took away that I feel like you could implement right out of the gate.
Yeah, I love those, Kirsten. And that's the thing, you guys, with voice messenger, use it, because we were talking about this earlier, a couple of us. I mean, first of all, it feels like it goes so much quicker rather than typing something out. And your passion is heard in your voice. So, I mean, I could message somebody and they might not want Plexus, but at least they know I'm passionate about it when they hear my voice. So they might not want it right this second, but the minute they decide they do want it, they're going to go to somebody who they know is passionate. You know, they might have a next door neighbor that's selling it, but just kind of like in it, out of it, you know, but they'll remember your passion. Your passion is memorable. So I love that, Kirsten. All right, who's up?
I'll go next. So the thing that hit me the most, I think, kind of ran through the whole time we were there as well. Rita Davenport cracks me up, but she was the one that started it. And the way she started it was, she said, get your ask, not her other, but your ask in gear. And she said, you have not because you ask not. So she kind of started that theme there, and it went all the way through like our senior Ruby training as well. They talked about, you know, the reason that the jewels are jewels are not because, you know, they've got the most yeses, but because they've heard the most no's. They've talked to enough people and heard yes or no so many times that they eventually got there, because they're willing to do the 5-3-1, because they're constantly reaching out to new people. And then Kristen Abart was one of our diamonds in our group, and she said, approach the approachable, approach the scary people, get everyone on the product, sign all your influential people, and cast a huge vision. Because once those people catch the vision, they're going to run with it. Whether it's the product vision or the opportunity vision, they're going to run with it. And she said, see the person's network, not just them. I forget who she said she signed under. Just is not coming to me right at the moment. But she's
Lori Welch.
Yes, Lori Welch. So Lori said straight up when Kristen signed up, look for the most influential people in your network. Look for the people who have the biggest network and sign them first. And she said that's how she got to the top so quickly, is because she went for those influential people first. And even when some of those people said no, she just moved on to the next one. And she talked to as many people as she could as fast as she could. They also talked about reading that book, The Color Personalities of MLM, and I've read it, but it is now on my nightstand again to reread, because you've got to know how to talk to that specific person and that person's personality to touch them and reach them. So that was big. But she also said, look for people with obviously the influence, but with a good work ethic and people who have emotional maturity, because this business is so up and down. You want people that are willing to jump in and stay in and be all in. You know, you don't, you know, we're all going to have moments where we get frustrated, but be frustrated for 30 seconds and move on. We don't want to camp out there. So, and then going along with that, by doing all of those things consistently yourself, you're building a team and you're going to be a leader. And it talks about getting your team to follow you. She gave us a quote by John Maxwell that says, momentum begins inside the leader. It starts with a vision, passion, and enthusiasm. It starts with energy. Like Kirsten said, if we're not doing it, our team's not going to do it. They're not going to do anything if we're sitting around doing nothing. Even if we're trying to coach them, even if we're trying to help them, even if we're trying to encourage them, they're not going to do anything if we're not doing anything. So we've got to consistently stick with our IPAs and reach out and be uncomfortable and do what we know we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I love that. And I think it's so easy to get frustrated. You're like, well, I have 20 people on my team and only one person wants it. You know, we always look at those numbers. Like, this is such a numbers game, but don't let the numbers discourage you. Like, it only takes a couple people passionate about this to really get you where you want to go with this. And it's funny because I remember at our first convention, there were 4 of us there, and I was excited. But at the same time, I was looking at, you know, my friends that had 10 people there, 20 people there. You know what I mean? It's so easy to compare. And now look at this year, like we had over 40 people there. That's really exciting to me to know that we've gone from 4 to 40 people that are in it. You know, they're doing this. So just to think like what next year is going to hold, we're going to have probably over 200 something people at this point. So yeah, I think it's easy to look at those numbers and be like discouraged that people aren't running with the vision, but time's going to pass anyway. You know, you be passionate, you walk your journey, and the right people are going to come alongside you at the right time. So love that, Christy. All right. Who else?
I can.
Yeah.
Okay. So we had Diamond Ambassador Rebecca Folks, who I guess was just married, so she had a different last name, so I don't know if you know who she is, but she talked all about social media and branding, and I know everyone got a little bit of this, but I knew who she was. I didn't realize who she was when she came on stage because she had gotten married and I didn't know her last name, but she was talking a lot about how you represent yourself on Facebook and how that plays such a key role in your Plexus business. And one of the statistics she shared was what social media to use. So Facebook has 1.59 billion people on Facebook alone, and then 120 million on YouTube, 400 million on Instagram, 320 million on Twitter. And so she said that no matter like what your designated social media is, whether you love using YouTube or you love using Twitter, make sure you use Facebook because you're going to get 1.59 billion possibilities versus the 400 million. If we all had, and one of the things she said was, if we all had 400 million ambassadors, that'd be fantastic. But we have a much better likelihood if we get 20 of 400 million. Imagine what we could do with 1.59 billion. So that was one of the cool things she said. And she also said to be authentic. And I had heard it before, but I love the way she put it. For all you who know me, I am a fan of the McCalls. I love them so much. And I love the way that they represent themselves on Facebook. But it's not how everyone should represent themselves on Facebook, because if I did half the things that they do, my friends would be like, she's lost it. Plexus is not that's going to kill her one day because she's going crazy. And so that's something that is not authentic to me, but for them, that's totally normal. For them to be jumping around or being on the People of Walmart site, that's normal. Versus for me, if I did that, it's not normal, and people would be like, she's not being authentic, and people wouldn't believe me as much. And the other thing was, and this goes part with branding, and for a lot of people, this is very hard. Controversial topics, you can't necessarily comment on them. She said that no matter what your views on this were, but for the gorilla thing that happened a couple weeks ago, she's like, I had so many opinions and I disagreed and agreed with so many people, but I didn't say anything, because all it takes is that one person that is on your dream team that might disagree with you to see your posts and say, no, I don't want to be friends with her. I don't want to be on her team. We have such fundamental belief differences that you could put someone off from Plexus just because you're the representative for them. You're the only one they have to go with. and you are the representation of this company. And if you let your beliefs get in the way of that, you have the opportunity to lose someone that could very well be like your Celeste Gwen. You don't know until that happens. And so when it comes to controversial topics, and I'm guilty of this, if you share your beliefs, you always have that opportunity for someone to come back and disagree with you. And that might be the opportunity that you lose out on. So branding was her big thing.
That's so good, Amanda. And that's a great reminder for us with the election coming up and everything. I know we all have our own opinions on that kind of thing. And it doesn't mean you can't have opinions, but it just means maybe not voice them on Facebook the way you want to, or the way that you would, like at least filter it a little bit and make sure that it's coming across, but yeah, totally don't use Facebook to come up with controversial topics.
Can I comment on that really quick?
Yeah.
Hey. Okay, so my other thought on that though is 99.9% of us on this team are also an image of Christ. And if you're saying something that could offend somebody or can be taken in an ill way towards the one we currently follow or the one that's truly important, then that should make you second guess that anyway. You know what I mean? Like, another true thing of that right now is the politics that are going around. Like, if you can't justify it in your head, well, I don't know if I want to do that because that's not authentic to me, then think about it in terms of like WWJD, right? What would Jesus do? It's a super thing that we all grew up saying, but it's so true. Like, if you're going to speak something that someone else says ill of, then that's not God's love. That's not God's word. It's the same thing with Plexus. We're about hope. We're about love. It should be very simple. Don't make it more complicated than what it is.
Yeah. Great. Reverend Tristan. Love it. Okay, who else want to share?
I'll go next.
Yes, Becca.
All right, so I'm same as Kirsten. The biggest takeaways I took away were during our Gold to Senior Gold meeting in our little breakout session. And one of the ones that spoke to me, just because I've had a hard time setting up a DMO just with teaching and everything. So it was time block in advance. And if you wait until the day of, you're already a step behind. And so that one spoke volumes to me. And then to also go along with it, and it's something we've done in school at the school that I teach at, but I didn't think about doing it with this, was setting a SMART goal, which is just an acronym for specific, measurable, now I just forgot the A, so I'm going back through my notes to find it. Specific, measurable,
Attainable?
I just forgot it. There, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. And so, like, I set mine up for my next level that I want to rank at, and just how can I measure that to reach it, and then am I making it attainable? And then one of the diamonds, and I can't remember which one it was, said, like, with your SMART goal, if you see you aren't going to make your SMART goal, don't be discouraged, just up your IPA so you can reach it.
Yeah. Love that. You guys, activity, if you feel like your business is not where you want it to be, look at your activity. Look at your activity. You cannot fake your way to diamond. You know what I mean? It takes action to get there. So I love that. It takes just doing the work. And it's not hard work, you guys. It's just realizing that it's the same thing over and over, day in, day in, day in. So it's not hard. It's just a matter of, are you going to do it on a daily basis? So love that, Becca. And that's the thing. I think we don't realize we are like the CEO of our company. Like, can you imagine if you were in, like, some of you are in corporate America. Like, if your CEO showed up just like once every week, for an hour here or there, like, would you really have that much fond respect for that kind of person? Would you really feel like they're invested in the company? No, you want to know that your CEO is showing up daily. He might not have to be there 8 hours a day because he's already put in the legwork, or you don't know what he's doing at home, preparing for the day. But you want to see your CEO showing up on a regular basis. That's how we are with our business. You can't work sometimes. You have to work regularly, consistently, but you get to choose those hours. So love it. Lynette, were you going to share?
Yeah, I was just going to talk about something a little different, and I don't know everything that Brian learned in it, but he went to the Minneplexus meeting. It was like at 7 o'clock on the last day. I was still in bed when he got up and went, so I was pretty impressed, you know. But it was standing room only. There were many, many more people than what they planned on, and there was a board of them in front. And it kind of cracked me up because the rest of the day he kept on like stopping people that he saw, you know, that spoke, you know, like and I didn't realize it until yesterday. You know, yesterday there was a post from a live Facebook Live from Jessica Heffley, right? And so I was looking at something, I can't remember what, and I'm like, man, her husband looks familiar. Well, Brian stopped her husband and got a picture taken with him at the food court. And Brian was like, he is Sapphire, and I think his wife is Diamond. And they were eating at the food court, you know. And so and right when they got up, who sat in their place but Emily Roberts' husband, you know. And I'm like, hello, Brian, that person, you know, the same way. But and I saw a post yesterday that was one of the Diamonds said something about, I went to Walmart and got groceries and not one person stopped me to take their picture. And, you know, just because, of course, everybody
What do you want?
stopped, you know, the whole time, which cracked me up.
You're
but
in here.
he, anyway, I tried to text him while he was at that, and he was like, not now, I'm trying to listen, you know, and stuff. So I know he got a lot out of it. And one of the things that he was telling me was, you know, they were kind of told, hey, you know, you need to do what you can do to help support your spouse or significant other that's going through this. And that might mean that your goals kind of go on the back burner to help them first and then help us. You know, I think everybody's different, though, in how they handle that and how they want to handle that. But anyway, I think that session was very important for a lot of those guys and that they all got a lot out of it. In the gold session, one of the things that they talked about was quadrants, which piqued my interest because it's math, quadrants. But they talked about taking things and doing like urgent and not urgent and important and not important, and looking at it as your important, urgent goals are the ones that you're going to do first. And those are going to be like your new ambassador questions. And then you have important, not urgent, and that would be things that you'd want to plan and schedule and do without distraction, like your IPA, personal growth. And then you have not important, urgent, like the things that you want to minimize and delegate. So it might be the people that have been around a while. They said not that you want to completely shut them out, but they should know where to find some of their answers too. And then not important and not urgent would be avoid unless you have spare time, like scrolling Facebook, time wasters. I know Wastebook was used a lot in terms of Facebook, and I know I'm guilty of that, especially when on the weekends when school's out. I'm like, oh, let me catch up on the last week of Facebook, and 3 hours later, like, didn't happen. And one of the things from John Addison, he had, I just had it here, the 9 real leadership practices. Decide who you are, shine your light on others, build on your strengths, earn your position, focus on what you can control, develop a peaceful core, be a lighthouse, don't burn bridges, and make your parents proud. And I think those are all definitely thoughtful considerations when we're thinking about this in general, or just, again, kind of our brand and how we're showing ourselves as well.
Yeah. One of my favorites from that, Lynette, was when he was talking about being a lighthouse. And you think about a lighthouse, and people don't need a lighthouse when everything's sunny and perfect and life's amazing. Like he said you might take a picture with a lighthouse or take a picture of a lighthouse, but you don't need it when everything's going right. But it's when, the storm comes, you don't have any options. That's when you're looking for that lighthouse. And that's what we get to be with Plexus. There are a lot of people in our lives right now that you've talked to about Plexus, and they don't feel like they need it right now. And that's okay. The timing isn't for them right now. But there is going to come a time in their life, whether it's health or financial related, or even just wanting community, there will come a point where they need that lighthouse. So I love that when he was talking about that, because we have the opportunity to be lighthouses, and it's just a matter of when the person is going to need that, you know, so we get to be those beacons of hope and light and point people in the right direction when it's their time. So I love that.
I think I was kind of torn too, with different posts and stuff that we had going on. You know, we were all tagging each other in different things. And I'm thinking, man, there's probably some people that are like, I'm so sick of seeing about Vegas and Plexus and everything that she's being tagged in. But then there might have been that one or two, or who cares if it was just one person that was looking at that was like, hey, cool, you know, I wonder what this can do, and might not hear from them for another year and might not even know about it for another, you know, 18 months, but it might have made a difference to that one person.
Yeah. You just have no idea, you know, when you're putting stuff out there and you're being your authentic self, you know, like Amanda was talking about, you have no idea who is watching and really just waiting for that perfect time for their life. You know, we take it so personally, like, oh, I reached out to her 5 times and she doesn't want it yet. Well, it's not because of us, you know what I mean? It's the timing of that person and what they're going through. So you just never know, you guys. There are people that have been watching my journey for 2+ years, and they're still going to join me. I know they are. They're just taking their sweet, precious time for some reason. But it's not me, you know, it's just a matter of they haven't needed what we have to offer yet, or they haven't realized they've needed it. So I love that. Awesome. Did anyone else want to share? We have about a couple more minutes before we call it for the night.
Hey, I will. I'm here. Amanda's just hogging the computer screen. I'm looking through my little notebook. I took all these different notes, and there's a theme that I found as I looked through all the notes that I took. Chris McCall was up on stage at one time during a panel, and I can't remember what I think Victor was asking him, but he said that one thing that he and his wife really try and do is remove the thought process of what's in it for me and replace it with what's in it for them, or what's in it for the people that we're offering Plexus to. So you kind of need to be aware, take yourself out of the picture, and how can you help that person? And then another time I wrote down, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And so again, if you're coming through as an authentic person and wanting to help somebody, that will certainly go a lot further. And then in the beginning, I think it was the first day, I wrote down, if I brought you the opportunity, it's because I believed in you. So please take the belief and grow it in yourself. And that could be with another person on your team, or even a potential customer that you're prospecting with. But again, I think it's all about giving back to that other person and showing your true self to them, and not just trying to get the quick sale, but trying to get to know them better and what they really need in their lives, and whether it's for Plexus for health benefits, or for the financial freedom. We have it all. We are the full, we have the full package, but we have to take ourselves out of it. And then I think I wrote too that people are watching, but they have to join on their time and not my time. So, you just kind of have to wait people out, and when they're ready, they'll find you. And that's true. I've had people message me just this week. Amanda's tagged me in some things, and then my friends will say, "What's Amanda doing? She looks great." But any other time, they might not have messaged me. It was their time to reach out or say, "I'm ready to talk now. I'm ready to do something about my health or my body or whatever." Or how can I make that money that you're making, or pay the bills that you're, able to pay, like that kind of thing. So we just kind of have to wait for people to come around and do it on their own time.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. And when you're talking about just taking yourself out of the equation, reminds me of one of you were telling me not sure if it was Christy or somebody, but whoever was in Rhonda Shaw's session and was saying how her sponsor, Ashley, kept talking to her about Plexus and talking to her about Plexus. And Rhonda, like, she had 4 kids. She was sick on the couch all the time. She didn't feel like she had anything to offer. But Ashley believed in her and saw the best in her. She saw that Rhonda would be amazing at this had she had her health in order, you know? And now Rhonda is one of the quickest moving, like, she's a diamond, but she's like just going fat, like full speed ahead. And so think of that with people in your life, like people who obviously are influencers and all that stuff, but dig a little bit deeper. Who in your life would be amazing at this if they actually just felt better? You know what I mean? Like, I think for a lot of us, we have crazy busy moms that are exhausted all the time. No wonder they don't want to run a business. Like, I wouldn't want to run a business pre-Plexus. Like, hello, I was exhausted all the time. So think about that. Like, people don't feel as good as we feel. So remember that, like, once they're feeling their best, like, imagine who could really rock this opportunity and change their family's lives. So, all right, guys. Well, I've got 10:01. I know it's turning into a late night for us. Typically, we say these are 15 to 20 minutes. Psych. Just kidding. Okay, well, guys, let's take a picture really quick.